there. So listen, we got a half hour left. So let's get into some questions and answers. We got about 100 more slides. We never will make it through that. So with that, let's get into some questions. Yes. Yeah.
You guys showed a picture of Eva earlier on, and I don't know if anybody else noticed, but she's got tattoos of dog paws on her.
Yes.
I'm seeing the dog paws on a lot of, especially female, and in particular now in the porn industry, and the film grades these days. What is there's a few more other female rappers and artists coming through. I understand from the porn industry into the What's with the dog? What's with the tattoo?
It's a part of a mind control thing that goes on a lot. In Stuart Swerdlow's books, he deals with a lot of mind control cases, and they notice that a lot of certain tattoos represent certain things. Like the butterfly tattoo is a monarch mind control tattoo. So when you see that, you know, they brand a lot of people, and a lot of females in the porn industry have the dog paws and so forth and so. But we know she didn't do porn.
She used to do exotic
dancing. You know what I mean? So it could be a signature of a mind pattern. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, I talked a lot about mind patterns. Don't create a mind pattern where if you're a conspiracy theorist too much, everything will be, all your thoughts and everything in your life will be about conspiracy. You see what I'm saying? So you got to kind of watch your mind patterns, so to speak.
For me also, it's not just the fact that they're on dog paws, it's the placements of them. Like you say, butterflies there as well. It seems to be like it has to be either on the breast, or on the shoulder, or on the thigh.
Or back here. Yeah.
So that's the other thing I wanted to, because Richard's on the symbolisms, I wanted to know if he could experiment on that.
Well, on a linear level, it looks like the sisters are just trying to invite you in somewhere. You know what I mean? It just looks like a bunch of dog paws trying to let you in somewhere. I've yet to really decode anything higher from it, but if Black Dot is saying that it's mind control, I got to look at that a little bit further. But when I see sisters wearing it, they got it by their breast, they got it by their ass. It looks like they're trying to invite you somewhere. So it's just another way the sisters are just sexually giving themselves up and saying, look, here, come take me. You know what I mean? But it's another form of insecurity. If it's mind control, it's Willie Lynch. Once again, the sisters just, brothers is locked up. Sisters like, look, come take me. I want somebody. You know what I mean? And there's nobody around. That's the best way I could look at it. You know
especially in America, it's like 25 to 1. 25 women to 1 man. I mean, with all the brothers locked up, all the brothers on the down low, all the brothers smoking crack on the corner. Shit, it could be 100 to 1 if you just got a little shit going on in your life. You got a job and you know what I'm saying? 100 to 1. That's why I get an ass pass. You know what I'm saying? That's why wifey gives me an ass pass, because I cannot walk down the street of New York and not see beautiful black women like dropping like rain. And I would be playing myself in half. I just did this. I'm not trying to stroke her ego. You see what I'm saying? Fuck that shit. She said, nigga, you get an ass pass. You've been good. You get an ass pass. Really. Ask her what that shit look like. You know what I'm saying? Make it a game and shit. Because women have the ability to see. She's already saw the woman before you seen her anyway. She's already scanned 2 blocks away and said, that looked like somebody my husband would like. I'm going to see if his ass look when we get close. You doing all kind of stupid shit, push her so she can fall forward and shit. Bitch, you so funny, push her shit. She know what time it is. She done seen all that shit already. She's already assessed it. We slow. Niggas are slow. You know what I'm saying? But they've already saw it the whole night. Same thing with men. They've already saw, and you know, as Rashid broke down before in one of his DVDs, brothers wait till we get right up on a sister to speak. She has already saw you from 2 blocks away. She's already sized you up and figured if you are a match for her or not. Meanwhile, you're headed down and shit, and she walk on you. Oh, it's like that? I can't give up. She's already processed the information. She is now on her way looking for the next nigga who might be a match for her. Brothers, don't take it personal. Look 2, 3 blocks ahead. Yes.
You know when you're saying LL, like you've got a thing with LL, but you don't put him in the Jay-Z category, sort of. But I would tend to put LL in the Jay-Z category, and I would think that they never let him win because he's metaphysical. Like, right.
Yes.
Right on it.
You are 100% on it. They scan all of that information.
To boost LL a bit more. I don't know if it's the feminine energy.
Well, what he does do is his mic is so sharp, and his lyrical skill and the stuff that he implements in it. That's why they got the record label to find out who. They don't come see you. You come to see them. You want deals. They scan your sound and your music and decide, you know what I'm saying, if this is what the community needs or if this is what we want.
But his time was up still. When he came about, to me, LL's time was up still. He ain't really brought out nothing too lyrical since that.
Who? LL? You talking about LL?
Yeah, LL.
But you know what he does? Let me tell you what he does. Every year he'll drop one hot song off the album, and it just keeps him alive. Every year he goes on the chart, and I look on the chart, and there he is. And he came out in 1985. I want you to ponder that. How long is that? 23 years ago. For a rap artist to still be relevant, that shit he got out now with Dream is hot. That shit is very hot.
I don't know though.
Okay, we're not gonna get into a debate about that because that's what opinions is for. You know what I mean? I can say Rakim is the greatest, and who gonna really deny that? And then that brings up a whole nother can of worms. So, yes.
With LL, you showed a picture of goats, and we know that pictures of Satan. Was that intentional? Did you could use a picture of goats in, I don't know, Africa or something, but use a picture of goat Mendes. Was that intentional?
Well,
No.
the golden Mendes is a primal deity, and the goat represents the greatest of all time to LL. What we were lining up with was when, as you see, the goat Pan is the golden Mendes, and he was trying to grant the girl in Pan's Labyrinth immortality. The reason why we lined that up with LL is because LL looks immortal. The guy hasn't aged. He hasn't aged, and he's still here, letting you know I'm the greatest of all time due to his longevity. So we lined it up like that. If you call yourself the GOAT, that's a powerful concept. And when you believe that, you tell yourself, I'm the greatest of all time. Look how long I've been here. As you think it, so shall it be. So whether he's lining up with Pan or not, the GOAT, I'm pretty sure he understands that a ram stands on top of the mountain, looking down to the rest of the sheep. So I'm pretty sure he understands those particular concepts. But because he embraces sexuality, femininity, and prides himself off staying with all the young youth that's coming up. I mean, he tells you, I think your girl need a break with Usher, Justin Timberlake. Those supposed to be the hottest crews out, but he's letting you know she needs a break for me to deal with y'all little chumps. So he's the GOAT standing on top while go deal with the little R&B cats. He told you a long time ago, are y'all ready for me yet? Like you said, his wife is waiting to get with LL. So he is the GOAT. And if you watch, movies like Pan's Labyrinth, understand the symbology of the GOAT, we'll stop being demonized and afraid of what Pan represents. See, the demons are us. And that's why during Halloween we wear the face of the demons, because we're visiting the underworld. See, so as we adopt these attributes, all is trying to remind us that you're immortal. So we used to show demonistic type of deities because it was otherworldly, something that can get you away from thinking you're just arm, leg, arm, head. I'm something else. And LL's just reminding you, one of the attributes of being from another place is immortality. You can live forever. So, that's what that is.
So do you know who the first people were to start cursing or wax? And was there any significance to the transition?
Let me see. I'm not sure if it was. I know it was before NWA and all that kind of stuff. Slick Rick would treat her like a prostitute.
He came with the adult rap.
Yeah, he came with adult rap. Coogee Rap came with some cursing. Roxanne Shante, but she didn't curse that much.
Not too much.
What's this guy named out of Philly? Who really pioneered gangster rap? Schoolie D. You see what I'm saying? He was bringing some hard stories with curses. But here's the thing, NWA just took it to the extreme. Nigga, please. They just was like, it was a part of their rhyme to curse. It wasn't like it was a curse word in the rhyme. Their rhyme was a curse. You see what I'm saying? So once that happened, and once we tested it, and nobody felt that it was something that we would object to, it became the norm. You know what I'm saying? And language is everything. But what is a curse, really? You know what I'm saying? Bobby said, what the fuck is a curse, really? You know what I'm saying? So, in my house right now, we got a curse jar. And my kids get a quarter every time they hear me curse. And I just do that so they can have a little money. They catch me all the time. I be in the room by myself. Cha-ching, because they got to say cha-ching, so they hear me on the phone. And, they be stacking up coins and shit. I'm going broke. Fucking with their ass. If they was here today, they'd have made $1 million. They might watch the tape and just be cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Who knows? Yes.
Yeah, the rappers, a lot of them are becoming so-called movie stars, but some of the roles they're taking, and just your views on that.
They're trying to diversify their catalog, basically. You want to get into that, Rich?
I mean, they're going for the money. They know that Hollywood is where it's at. Some people that made the transition, but if you look at even some of your conscious rappers, they're not necessarily reflecting what they're about. So you could call it pretty much a sellout move, or like Dot said, maybe while the war is going on around you, maybe it's a chess move as opposed to selling out. Maybe I'm moving a little bit closer, and now that I could compromise a little bit, maybe I have a bigger plan ahead. So. You can look at it a lot of ways. That's one of those unfolding things that we'll see. But more or less, most of it, they're definitely not reflecting anything that they're about. But I see that it may be a chess move.
And the money you make from one movie, as opposed to how many albums you have to sell, and you get your money up front in the movie. You know what I'm saying? $2 million up front cash. You know how many albums you got to sell? Then this one got to take this in the video. It's a whole different ballgame. You come to work, you get to work. That's what happened to Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Ice Cube was a militant, now he a comedian.
He been figured out the puzzle, you know what I mean? So Ice Cube,
what kind of shit is that?
Now
imagine Malcolm X being alive today and he's in movies and shit. Imagine that. You would never see that, but that's what Hollywood can do to you. Turn a militant motherfucker who's got militant visions and really want to do something for his people, and now this nigga telling jokes. Ice Cube is telling jokes. Ice Cube's face is the most fierce thing ever. When you look at his eyes on them albums, I just believed everything that he was talking about. I believed his struggle. He was hooking up with Khalid Muhammad, Public Enemy. I said, yo, this dude right here is dangerous. But they had to neutralize him. And they neutralized him by giving him a movie deal. Look, dude, stop all that. Make some comedy. And he ain't even making militant movies. If he was making militant movies, I might say, I'll give you a pass. This nigga is making comedy. He's a joke. Yes. Yes.
And what about the blueprint? I think with the lyric, basically goes, pay us like you owe us for what you did to the Cold Crush.
What you did to the Cold Crush.
Yeah.
A sugar is all.
Yeah.
He's saying, pay what you owe us. I'm overcharging you for what you did to the Cold Crush. But really, however, he pays no homage to the Cold Crush whatsoever. So to me, that was just a lyric. He came and introduced Furious 5 and Grandmaster Flash at the Hall of Fame, the Rock Hall of Fame. He was the one who introduced them to induct them into the Hall of Fame. And he acted like he didn't even want to be there. He was real nonchalant, like, yeah, this is the Furious 5. No, this is the Furious 5, son. This is the one who enabled you to be who you are. And he didn't even come backstage. I talked to Raheem from the Furious 5. Jay-Z didn't even have the decency to come backstage and shake their hands and say, I'm very proud that hip-hop has now made it into the Rock Hall of Fame. We recognize hip-hop as a way of life, a form of music. He just came and watched it. It might be on YouTube. It was very nonchalant. So don't tell me you paying homage to the Cold Crush for what they did to the Cold Crush, and you can't even respect a group that came before the Cold Crush, which is the Furious 5. So to me, it was just all bullshit. Some patronizing line he wanted to throw in to show that he knew who the Cold Crush was. You see what I'm saying? Yes. Questions?
He also,
yes.
on the album Kingdom Come, there's a track on the Jay-Z album. He did a track and he was talking about the Katrina. Neo.
Yes.
And he was talking about Minority Report, which I thought was quite, it hit me because he was talking about he put his money in to save,
Well, see, probably, I give him a little credit for that. Okay, fine. Nigga, I mean, for real, you put up $1 million? You got $400 million and you put up $1 million? No, I'm just saying. I'm simply saying. And then if you give your money to the Red Cross, that shit is like giving that shit to a crackhead. That money will never reach the people. Because the Red Cross said, you gave us $1 million, and we got to take out $600,000 for administrative fees. We got to take out $200 for taxes, and it'll be $1,000 go to the goddamn family. Give your money directly to the families, you do more work. Don't give it to the Red Cross. The Red Cross is a hustle. That shit is a hustle. All right, so by giving money, we gave $1 million to the Red Cross. That shit is for your ego, nigga. Go down in the trenches and really help them people. Do a whole album and dedicate all the proceeds that you want all the money to go directly to those families and watch how many houses come up. So I don't want to hear all that. Yes, in the back.
In regards to I find Jay-Z is quite egotistical, so with the whole dream thing, when Kanye West actually stood up and said something about it, he was more, you can see that, I don't really care, I've got an ego, but I'm letting you know I have my ego, where Jay-Z likes to have a massage.
Little brother, Kanye, and Kanye kicked his ass. Now, if you want to fight me and you can't beat my little brother, how you going to beat me? So symbolically, now once Kanye beats 50 Cent, which I thought 50 Cent had a better album, but that's just my opinion. He beat 50 Cent in sales. Now Kanye ego is like, who else is there for me but Jay-Z? I done took out, you see what I'm saying? And his creativity is far greater than Jay-Z's creativity. You listen to his albums, say what you want to say about Kanye. His albums are adventurous, they're creative, and he's not afraid to try new things. Now, he does have a man purse. Okay, he does walk around with a man purse. And his pants are too tight, I will say that. But it has nothing to do with the creative energy within him.
That's like Andre 3000, man.
Yes.
That's about masculine and the feminine.
Yes.
If you go back to the Feminine, he's talking about the tune actually at Feminine. He's talking about Andre 3000, talking about aliens blending with your kin. That's like the DNA, the transformation of DNA, you yourself evolving. But it's where you flip it onto the other side. It's also to do with you just being manipulated, programmed as well. So I think it's just a balance. Kanye West has a balance. He could be homo-ish.
Next week she's doing a lecture. She's very good. Next week, get the sister up here. No, but you're right. You're right. And we got to understand, you can't be afraid of your creativity. You know what I'm saying? Kanye wanted to go outside of the realm. Now he always got a bear on his album. Anybody understand that shit? Now the bear represents motherly protection and hidden strength. Alright? So his mother was his bear. They took his mother away. He don't have that bear on his new album. We're going to see what happens now. Just showing you, again, getting into some of the symbology. His mother was his protection.
But the bear is also called Ursa, or Ursa, the stars as well. It's a constellation.
Oh, the constellation, the bear market, and that's what we're going, it's happening now in New York. We're in the bear market. So, again, many, multiple facets of different things. So, next question. Yes?
Yeah, can I squeeze 3 questions in? Because I know it's...
2.5.
First question is hip-hop going to have any relevance due to the time that we're moving in? We know we're going to have the NID card and all that kind of lockdown stuff, which is going to be happening soon. So is rebellious hip-hop going to have any relevance in their time? And also, what would you say being real is, as being a rapper, as in lyrics-wise and all that kind of stuff? And is there a possibility that hip-hop could be banned?
Could be blind?
Banned.
Yes.
If you look at Nas's video, which one was it? The one where he shows a wanted poster, and Nas is going out and just selling his records on the low. They're packaging up his records Hip Hop is Dead, and they're packaging up his CDs in like an underground place, getting out to the people. And he's saying that my rap will be banned. You know what I mean? This is not to be televised. So hip hop, conscious hip hop, positive hip hop, spiritual hip hop will be banned. But on the contrary, to answer the other question, the same way they use hip hop to promote voting, same way brain dead people will promote their own lockdown. Give me the Patriot Act. Come on, people, register. We got terrorists. Some people believe there's actually a Bin Laden. So it makes you think that the compromised hip hop mind will not solicit that. They use this to promote everything. So Nas tells you, don't let them kill me. Don't let them ban my rap. So you know what I mean? You look at the videos and you'll see it. So that's the answer to that one. What was
And the whole nigga thing was, by them trying to ban the word. That's a test program to find out if we're going to rally around and say, no, that brother should be able to say what he want to say, or we're in agreement that we do need some kind of policing of what's coming out of people's mouths. Once we agree, because you got to agree to it first. Problem, solution, problem, reaction, solution. You know the program. So they're going to keep testing us with stuff like that, making us stand up and fight against Don Imus in New York, calling a whole bunch of women nappy-headed hoes, because they're trying to ban freedom of speech. It has nothing to do with what Don Imus said or the word nigga itself. It's the principle. Once we agree, yeah, we do need policing on what can be said, real hip-hop will immediately be shut down, because it's already shut down. Unless you're on the underground, the internet, and you looking for it. But the game that's being played in media is nothing. Nothing can get through. That's not supposed to get through.
So would it have any relevance in the day that we know the NID card is coming out this November, and we know they're just dropping security things, so would it have any relevance?
Will hip-hop have any relevance?
Have any relevance due to the new society that's going to come in? We're conscious of areas hip-hop having relevance.
I'm going to say occult hip-hop may have some. The brothers who understand that spitting 16 bars has nothing to do with 16 bars. Brothers who understand that bars only represent confinement. You know what I'm saying? So them 16 bars that you're trapping yourself in, it was trapping you into the material aspect, but 1 and 6 is 7, and that represents God, or the 7 chakras, showing that you can, you know, supersede all that and escape, use your words to create new paradigms. Those MCs ain't gonna have no problems. It's the ones who continue to follow the program and the protocol that's set up that's going to have all the problems.
Those MCs are standing in front of you right now. The masters of ceremony. We're conducting a ceremony right now. We're the only ones. We're the MCs. We might not put records out, but this is a record right now. I'm flowing to you. I'm kicking rhymes to you. It's not over a beat, but you know, when the brothers edit it, tell them put it on a beat. And I'm rhyming to you right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be on the airways. The revolution won't be televised. You know what I'm saying? You know, they dropped that drill to you a long time ago, but if you really listen in...
And all that no ID card shit, that shit ain't got nothing to do with you, man. That's devil business. We gonna be here. I don't give a shit if you gotta have a big gorilla with me all the time to watch what I do. We still gonna do what the hell we have to do. And that's the way we have to see it. No fear. No fear. When I get to the other side, my ancestors gonna be there with their arms open like you a fucking warrior. I'm going out on my feet like a champ. You see what I'm saying? Because I refuse to get to the other side, and my mother and grandmother over there saying, look at you, boy. You can do nothing with your life. And whip my ass. I don't want that ass whipping from the other side. I'd rather deal with these devils now. Fuck them. When I get to the other side, it's going to be like, come on home, baby. It's time for you to come home. You did your work here. You see what I'm saying? So don't worry about all that shit. That shit is nothing. Next. Yes.
Talk about Outcasts, Dungeon Family, that's Helter Skelter, and
Goody Mob.
Goody Mob. And you know, like Wu-Tang, and you've got other groups like Rockers Records before they sort of dismantled now. So it's funny you talk about the crew, because Witch Doctor and Goody Mob, they kind of practice rituals and stuff, because I've got a Witch Doctor album at home, so his whole album is about rituals and voodoo and things like that.
So what was your question? I'm sorry.
Well, it's just that groups, some go, a lot of artists go on to groups like Dungeon Family. So I want to know the significance about them being together collectively.
Well, I'm going to say that they had a collective mind pattern. All of us in here have a collective mind pattern, or we wouldn't be here. We all levitate to the same frequency somewhat. We all feel that something is wrong. We all feel that we need to decode some things and break some things down. We all know we're spiritual, having a human experience. So we naturally levitate, or, you know what I'm saying, come together as a band frequency, so to speak. So the same thing goes in hip-hop. Most of the time you see those groups, they all rhyme the same, or they all have the same beliefs, or the same, you see what I'm saying, Wu-Tang had a certain belief, or so forth and so on, and they all follow it, because that's mind patterns, you know what I'm saying? Now that can be dangerous, of course, as we know.
About Ruckus, why they sort of...
Ruckus?
I'm going to tell you something about Ruckus.
Thank you.
I got a friend back home, his name is A. Evans, his rhymes is tight, he's spiritual, he's metaphysical, he's militant, he drops the whole thing. And he fuses it with, you know, with street knowledge. He's a street brother kicking that, you know, like he's on the corner in Lightning Brothers. You know, he used to come up around my way. I live a little bit further upstate outside the city, but the brothers around my way produce. He used to come down, lay his rhymes, so he packaged up his CD. We headed down to, it was 3 of us, we headed down to Raucous Records one day, Raucous Records, and handed them the CD. They listened to it, they listened to the demo, we standing there, you know, plugging our agenda. You know what they told us? They listened to it, said, this is tight, but we're looking for a white rapper. That's what happened with Raucous, and then the whole thing shut down. They was looking to duplicate another Eminem, because that's where the wave was going at that time. So Raucous Records, it might have looked like it had conscious rappers, but there was white people behind it. You know what I mean? That was just a medium to make you think that, you know, certain things can be put out there. You know, conscious rap is not a threat. Let's just balance it out to make it look like everything is acceptable.
It's an illusion.
But they
all in one place.
Because Nas can't call his album the nigga album, so obviously, you know what I mean, they just put it out there to make it seem like there's nothing wrong. There's no revolution needed, but, you know, Rock's Records was full of shit.
Basically. Yes.
Yeah, speaking of Eminem, you mentioned them. Your book said white rappers can't work.
Yeah.
What do you think of Joey Crack then and the rest of them?
Joey Crack ain't white.
Yeah.
He's Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
He's black. He's black. and to his credit, he did do a lot of that shit he said. He was a beast in the BX until Karis One took him and Big Pun under their wing a little bit, showed him a few things, and then Fat Joe's music early used to be real raw. He learned how to make songs. That was once he learned how to make songs, then his sales went up. Once he lost Big Pun, he was a little, set him back a little bit because Pun was a lyrical giant.
Yeah, yes, he was. Yeah.
Not just a physical giant, he was a lyrical giant. One of the best, and I miss him. I miss his body of work. You know what I'm saying? He went a little too soon, but now Fat Joe is in Miami. He don't even come to Brian. Everything, if you listen to his music, is about Miami. So, and some brothers in the Bronx is trying to get up at him on the Quiet as Kept tip. You should hear something about that real soon because they feel like that's a violation. 2 more questions. Yes.
Can you expand upon what occurred with Eazy in the White House? There's been a lot of kind of different versions of what happened.
Well, I don't exactly know what happened in the White House. I simply know he came out with "Express Yourself" and "Fuck the Police." That sent ripple waves to the point where they needed to speak to him. He did sit down with George W. Bush Sr. in the White House at a National Rifle Association meeting. When he came out of that meeting, the music he started putting out had nothing to do with expressing yourself to that extent, or nothing to do with militant as "fuck the police." It became about bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. And it was the orchestrator of that was Dr. Dre. His music you could not refuse. His music was touching your soul, and you had to accept that message that came with it. Now, it cast a spell over everybody on the whole East Coast, that whole NWA album, until my boy Tim Dog said, "Fuck Compton." And he broke the spell. And we toured the entire world, you know what I'm saying, trying to counter that particular energy, because every record label we went into, they wanted NWA at that particular point. So the frustration built up in Tim Dog, and he just said, "Fuck Compton." And the rest is what it was. So I don't know all the intricate details. I don't believe Eazy-E had AIDS and none of that kind of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? Maybe his mission was up. Maybe he, you know what I'm saying? We no longer needed you because you know too much about what's really going on. Freeway, Ricky Ross, and all of them. You know what I'm saying? We're bringing boatloads of drugs in. And Jerry Heller and all of them was involved in some way.
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question to people that's come along. The names I've been hearing, I certainly don't have them in my record box anymore. The names I have in my record box is Paris, Zion I don't know if anybody's heard of them, but that's who I have in my record box, that's who I play. Jay-Z's, I put them down from since the 90s. Even Fat Joe. I haven't played those records, don't even know the titles of those records. What I go out and buy is generally revolutionary music. When I say buy, it's download days.
Yeah, okay.
I'm still buying, I'm purchasing it, right? But what I'm really trying to say is there's a big contrast in the people that name the names and the ages of those people that's naming those names, you know? You can see I'm an old boy, you know? But what I haven't heard is any Zion I. Does anybody know who Zion I is?
No.
Okay. Right, that's West Coast. You know, I don't know how.
Asia, of course.
Yeah, Planet Asia. Then, you know, those are names that people need to be introducing brothers and sisters to. I'm fed up hearing, you know, Jay-Z.
See, the reason I use those names is because those are the ones who have the most control over our children. You see what I'm saying? So because the spell is cast over our children, I need to speak to them with people that they can identify with and say, all right, I know how you feel about Jay-Z, but let me show you something that you may not know about Jay-Z. And once I make them aware of it, they begin to listen to music differently. Because, yes, 1 minute?
Yes. No.
Oh.
What impact did Khalid
Muhammad have with the rappers and
He played a major role in Ice Cube, Public Enemy, a lot of the underground groups, because he was kind of like a hip hop minister. You know what I mean? So that's what made, I think that's also what made Ice Cube have to go another way, because like I said, he hooked up, he had Khalid at the beginning of his records, and Khalid was a dangerous man, a very dangerous man. You see what I'm saying? So that was lining up, and they were seeing that brothers was really rallying behind NWA and Ice Cube in particular. You know what I'm saying? When he came east for clarity and hooked up with the Bomb Squad, you know what I'm saying? Now you had two colossal forces joining forces to create another energy, which was Ice Cube's, you know, The Predator and all them albums. That was very, very dangerous. Ice Cube looked like it was liberty or death at that particular time, and I truly believe that it was. And then somebody got into his ear and said, dude, it's not done that way. You can make a lot of money just putting out comedy.
And a lot of brothers in New York who was rhyming Public Enemy and all that, they were heavily influenced by Khalid because of the Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam, the 5% nation, had a lot of influence. But if you listen to Rebel Without a Pause, brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to. That's Khalid right there. They used to put Khalid on the intro and just let brothers know that's the type of militancy we're coming with. And America feared that because they knew who Khalid was. Hence, Khalid, you know, got set up, etc. You know what I mean? Was killed. Bobby talked about, you know, how they set up Khalid, but that's the type of energy they were rolling with.
Yeah, well, Farrakhan is a figure that is highly respected amongst all, you know, say what you want to say, but, you know, he came in a couple of times and tried to mediate some things between 50 Cent and Ja Rule and other rappers. His influence in the Nation of Islam, resurrecting the Nation of Islam, had played a critical point, because remember, his resurrection of the Nation of Islam also aligned with the rappers in the 80s, KRS-One, Rakim, Brand New. So he was resurrecting the nation as we was resurrecting hip-hop, or bringing hip-hop to the point where it could be a useful force that can change reality in itself. It's no accident KRS-One, Public Enemy, X-Clan, Brand Nubian, Poor Righteous Teachers, all of Rakim, all of them basically came out around the same time. Jungle Brothers, De La Soul, all of them came out on or around the same time. So some kind of vortex was opened up. And remember, I believe Farrakhan resurrected the Nation of Islam in 1983-ish, 1984, because I remember he was trying to jump behind Jesse Jackson and help him, you know, run for president. So all of this stuff was happening at the same time. If you study in energy and you study the movement of the people, all of that's intertwined. I came out in 88. My album dropped in 88. Yes.
You got any information on Jam Master Jay on his death? Because it kind of remained like a bit of a mystery as to how, you know.
Yeah. To me, personally, you know, he died around Halloween. On Halloween Eve or something. You know what I'm saying? You want to get into that?
Didn't you talk about it before, the whole 50 Cent thing or something?
Yeah, well, remember, he still had contracts on 50 Cent. Who knows if there's some connection like that? Because once you sign these contracts be for life. For a long time, and somebody else has to come and buy that contract out and things of that nature. And if I'm holding steady because I don't want to let you go, some things may happen. Because remember, we're talking billions and billions of dollars. If I got a good rapper like 50 Cent and you have him under contract, you actually be taking food out of my family's mouth. All right, and the music industry used to be filled, and it's still filled with real gangsters who do real things. You see what I'm saying? Mafioso boys come through and make you change your mind about that shit. So don't think that Jam Master Jay, I'm not suggesting it was, but you have to throw everything on the wall and see what sticks. I'm going to do a lecture, sidebar, where it's going to be called The Usual Suspects. Sort of like they did in American Gangster. When you want to find out how deep the rabbit hole goes, you got to put pictures up and show what connects to what picture, and we're going to have an interaction among everybody so we can put the whole puzzle together and step back and really see the entire story, because you got to see who's connected to who. How did Jay-Z get on? Who's Jay-Z connected? Oh, Jay-Z lived on the same floor as Dr. York. Oh, really? Who was Dr. All the pieces need to be put out there so that we can get the whole story.
There's a quick one. Touch on Dr. York. Jaz-o.
We've got half an hour. So
Okay, cool.
Jaz-o and Dr. York.
Jaz-o.
Jaz-o and Dr. York. The connection there. And he said Jay-Z lived on the same floor. Just explain.
Jaz-o,
Yeah.
Jay-Z, and Dr. York all
Yeah.
lived on the same floor in
Right.
Marcy Projects. All right, Jaz-o is the one who is the force behind Jay-Z. He basically, that's why his name is Jay-Z. He wanted to mimic himself after Jaz-o. Jaz-o was putting knowledge in Jay-Z's head. The Celestine prophecy that Jay-Z always talks about when they ask him what's his favorite book, it's the Celestine prophecies. I believe Jaz-o is the one who gave him that book and gave him an opportunity to study. Now, Dr. York, I don't need to tell you, it was deep. I mean, he was into a whole lot of other shit too. I ain't gonna get into all that because I know he still got motherfuckers out here and shit. However, I will say this, not that I give a shit, but I'm simply saying his science that he brought opened up a lot of third eyes. A lot of people, when you weigh the whole picture, he opened up a lot of people. Granted, he didn't write all of them books. He had motherfuckers plagiarizing books and shit. However, he did open up a lot of people. So Jay-Z's foundation has to be based in some kind of science. And your boy York shit was out there. Out there before everybody else got out there. You see what I'm saying? So say what you want to say. His science was far advanced. I don't care where he got it from or whatever the case may be. It was out there. So Jaz-o was up under Dr. York's wing. You know what I'm saying? Getting that science. I got a song by Jaz-o. It's called I'll Be There. When you listen to it, it sounds exactly like Jay-Z. So you know where Jay-Z came from. Yes?
Big L.
Big L. Big L was an up-and-coming superstar rapper. This kid was from Harlem. His flow was phenomenal. You see what I'm saying? His flow was, he just had it. He had it. When I saw him, I had to rethink, because I was an older dude. I had already been rhyming for, when he came along, I basically said, I don't have to step, because this young brother just has it. His punchlines, he was witty, his stage presence, all of that. I don't know if it was a conspiracy. I'm not going to create one. I can if you would like. You see what I'm saying? We could be here all day and shit on. I'm not going to say it was a conspiracy. His brother had some beef with some hustlers. And they got at L. You see what I'm saying? To get at it, they couldn't get his brother, so they got him. That shit happened in the street all the time with no conspiracy attached. Niggas is doing dumb shit. Alright, so I'm not going to attribute his death. He was going to sign with Rockefeller. Jay-Z was going to hook up with him or give him a deal, so his future was bright.
A point on the deaths that have taken place, just when you're actually doing that, the usual suspects, out of hip-hop, James Brown, Bernie Mac, Isaac Hayes.
Yes.
Spirit of real blackness, I would say, through their youth, not being allowed to get to their elder stage like Harry Belafonte in his 70s and Mr. Farrakhan in their 70s, licking shot and giving grandfather figures for black people to look at. In that's my usual suspects. I looked at all of that and I said, hold on a minute, you know, these are some of the greatest, you know, in particular Isaac Hayes coming out, supposed to be coming out with a new album, and looking at the state of the world, being the Black Moses, he's not going to talk, talk songs like he did with Mick Jackson and stuff like that. You think what I'm saying? He's coming with the politics. So, is there a conscious effort or conscious knowledge that this is going on? Is that we're literally being taken out?
Rich, I refer to you. I defer to Rich on this one.
Well, if you look at Black Moses, look at the names: the Godfather Soul, James Brown, and Ray Charles. They were taken out around the same time as two presidents. Yeah. If you can remember, what was the two presidents who got knocked off? Ronald Reagan,
and Ford, I think, or one Ford. Yeah.
And that was, we talked about this a while ago, that was a ritual to carry some white souls into the underworld. So they killed the Godfather soul.
And on his way out, because they got these entities to be hovering, they ain't got nowhere to go. They try to catch a ride out.
They're trying to catch a wave on a ride. So they're desperate. They'll do a ritual. And at the same time, they always do these things around solstice events, equinoxes, to get us to mourn while we're really supposed to be receiving cosmic energy. They kill your musicians. The most powerful people were griots, people who spoke through music. So they do this all the time. And like you said, there's too much synchronicity. There's a pattern forming. And like you said, who else is picking up on this? Only us. Everybody else is sleeping. So that's a good barometer, as you're thinking in your head. Everybody else is sleeping. Because I'm pretty sure you tell some of your unconscious friends, they'll think you're crazy. But you know what I mean? You have a family amongst you to talk about these things with. But no, it's definitely conspiracy. It's definitely ritual. But look at the names: Black Moses, the Godfather Soul, Ray Charles, a blind man who can see with his third eye. You know what I mean? That's magic right there, man. You can't even see, and you're creating music. You know, they show you a movie where he could tell how beautiful a woman was just by touching her. You know what I mean? So they gotta, you know, they put the magic in the movies. You know what I mean? And they gotta take you out. But you know what I mean? It's the same way Yoda told you, don't mourn when somebody dies. Rejoice, because the force is inside of you. All those ancestors come inside of you, and it just makes you stronger, especially when you hit to that they're being taken out prematurely. So their rituals, if we tune in, are backfiring on them. They're just making me stronger. So that's, you know, that's the best answer I could give. That, you know, how to harness that particular energy. And you know, think about this superhero named Black Moses, the Godfather Soul. They know who we are. You know what I mean? So. Right, see, I'm right on the soul. Right on the soul.
And the days was on my birthday, you know what I mean? So it's like that really, you know, sort of like made you
It's resonating with you. If it's on your birthday, nothing is coincidence. Nothing is coincidence. Everything happens for a reason.
They took him out a few days before his own birthday as well.
Right.
They took him, you know what I'm saying? And it was funny that they took him and
we
burned him
got
out.
yesterday.
And they're both coming out with a movie called Soul Man. You know what I mean? So they know that we are the ones who have the soul, and they're looking for the talented. We talked about the number 10, the talented 10. You know what I mean? The 10% who actually have that type of soul, but we need to upgrade into that. You know, we always talk about the 5%. You represent that 5% who's putting the pieces, the usual suspects together. So you're right on it. Just become stronger. Even as they're doing their little rituals and it's backfiring on them. You can't kill me. If you take away the flesh, that soul is just coming inside of me. And now I'm using his music to empower me even stronger. So you can only become stronger. The only way it backfires is if you're unconscious and you don't understand death. Our ancestors always understood the cycles of death, reincarnation. The physical is not real. See, when you become metaphysical, see beyond the physical, you become occult. Now you can see the hidden. This is your family who you discuss it amongst, and we're talking about gaining our power. So when they take one of your powerful, potent, incarnate entities out, that only comes inside of you. And watch movies like Star Wars because it talks about Anakin. Don't become a jealous, weak Jedi Knight. Become stronger. If they take out Queen Amidala, who's your queen, become stronger. And that's why Luke at the end had to come remind his father, here I am. And at the end, Darth Vader finally got his primal powers back. But here you are. Look at the mythology. Line it all up. It's just making you stronger. Just making you stronger. Next.
Yeah, I just think it's a new
Immortal technique. I went to a concert. I go to a lot of concerts because I got to get the energy. Immortal Technique is off the chain. He opened up, it was a concert at Wu-Tang, Nas, Erykah Badu, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Pharoah Monch. I listen to the same underground artists as you do. I got to listen to the revolutionary music because that's what vibrates with me. I still listen to the Lil Waynes, the Jay-Z's, but Immortal Technique is off the chain. He opened up the whole show, and he's live and direct. He's right in your face. He's militant. He's reminding you. So.
Yeah, in the respect that he went out and told it's all a film of it, right?
Yeah.
Himself. You know, you should go through the distribution with everybody else. So he should the whole industry on his head. You know what I'm saying? So I need to hear you say you're feeling the way the approach he made of it.
Well, he doesn't want to compromise at all. That's a warrior. That's sacrifice. He doesn't want to compromise at all. And, you know, he knows if I get out and do the legwork myself, I'm going to be all right. I'm going to have food, clothes, and shelter. He doesn't look for the mansion and all those things because his wealth is inside of here. And that's sacrifice. And someone else yesterday asked a question about being a sellout versus, you know, the opposite, which I have to say sacrifice. And Immortal Technique, he's letting you know I have an immortal technique, which is sacrifice. So he even embodies it as he tries to spread his word to the people. It's not about fame. It's not about success. My fame lies within my spirit. I'm already known because I can know the unknown. Once you know the unknown, you're known by what exists, which is God. Everything else is an illusion. So he's talking to us. He's talking to us. Everything else, block it out. And those who can't vibrate with that type of message, they ain't going to get it.
So would you say that goes along the same lines as Master P? The shrinking of Master P?
Well, Master P was selling it out of his trunk, and he just was a mastermind. You know what I mean? Master P was a mastermind and knew how to sell units and knew how to come up. That's the Scarface story. Scarface knew how to come from nothing and get on top, and that's just the resilience of the black man. He's a hustler. A hustler's not a bad thing. We're hustlers in here. What's your hustle? Are you hustling to pimp the next person? Or are you hustling to give love? There's a big difference. But Master P, you know, you can take something from everything. Just take that formula, but put consciousness into it. That's all we got to do. Certain people are embodying certain things that's naturally inside of us. If the white man was in our position, undergoing slavery, genetic mutilation, vaccinations, he would have been died a long time ago. Why are we still here? Master P's just showing me that resilience. I can hustle. I can make my youngest son a businessman at an early age, educate him on finance, on stocks, bonds, trade, and everything. And his young son is probably brighter than all of us already on that particular level. But who do we have to really teach us that type of financial world? So Master P, I got to do nothing but toss my hat to him. You know, I take the good with the bad. I take the good out of everything. That's what we have to do. But Master P is a genius. You can't take anything away from him. Next.
Me? Oh, okay, all right. First of all, a record is like a spell. It's a chant, a chorus, and it's something that you say over and over and over and over and over and over. It becomes a form of meditation. You see what I'm saying? So whatever you cook up in that stew, whatever your intentions were when you spit those rhymes, you know what I'm saying, to get money, whatever the case may be, and everyone else in the village begins to sing the song, and the radio helps you out because the radio plays it every 35 minutes and shit. In New York, they play 9 songs all day. They become chants. The children begin to chant them. The children begin to dance to them and celebrate them. And all the messages be negative. And we all get involved, and we all party, and we all involved in the same negative message, and then it becomes our reality. And the only one who actually reaps the benefit is the one who casted the spell. So when Jay-Z puts out a record, and he's talking about bitches, money, hoes, get money, sell drugs, and we all participate and celebrate it, he has casted a spell that is forever. As long as they play the record, as long as the children get involved with the sound. He the only one taking the stacks to the bank like this. So it becomes a spell. I say that to lay out the foundation that you can reverse the spell with positive messages and so forth and so on, and things of that nature. If you want to get into sound technology itself, we also understand there's something called cymatics, which shows and demonstrates certain sounds vibrate and bring matter into a physical reality. We have that ability to do so. Certain MCs, this is why it doesn't matter if they're talking nonsense or they're talking positive, we still levitate to them and love them. Biggie is the greatest at it. Biggie would have me in the party, he ain't talking nothing but bullshit. I'm like, this nigga is nasty. Because the way his words, you know what I'm saying, the way he's vibrating, as strong as his voice and intent is. Intent is everything. When you're making your beats up, if your intention is to just get money and be flossed out, then that's the magnetic vibration that goes out on your music. If your intent is to have these drums resonate to a certain frequency that wakes up our brothers and sisters, then that's what your drums will do. It may not lead to money, it may lead to money. So we got to be clear that intent is everything. Everything that we want to do, that's why niggas is in the gym doing this. All day shooting 300, 400, 500 jump shots. Then when they get in the game, they've already done it. Who has a commercial? Carmelo Anthony says in his basketball commercial, when they give me the ball, I'm going to score because I've already done it. They showed him in the gym practicing all by himself, all day long, so that when the event actually happens, I've already seen it. I'm going to just do it. That's what made Jordan who Jordan was. Jordan spent tremendous of time working on his craft, so that when he was in the actual event, it was nothing. So we have the ability to put that type of intent into every single thing. Listen, I'm very passionate about what I do. I hope you feel that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not up here just bullshitting you. We can stay here for hours. I'm passionate about just sharing this type of information, a give and take. I wouldn't waste your time. You know what I mean? And every time I put out a DVD, I'm casting a spell on these Illuminati motherfuckers. They know it. They know it. I know it because I'm cooking this shit up with that intent. It ain't never about, let's go hustle. This ain't no hustle. Ain't no money in this shit. Zero. You follow? So this is about intent and trying to change this reality. We superheroes. You know, all of us. We are superheroes and we can change this reality. Yes?
You got any like angels bothering you and stuff?
Well, I talked about, I just was in Atlanta and I had a couple of agents follow me. They was following me so much I wanted to offer them a cup of coffee.
Well, you're going to find out what they want.
Who knows? Maybe they heard, because I did some radio shows saying I was coming to Atlanta. So when I got there, they was already there. You see what I'm saying? Maybe it was just to find out, you know what I'm saying? And the place was packed. I was with Professor Griff. It was standing room only in the place, and I could feel the energy in the building. Remember, we bring in this new energy. Ain't nothing new under the sun, but the way we do what we do, people in Atlanta are not really on it like that. You know, that's the Bible Belt. You know what I'm saying? So that's good Christian folk. We coming with something else, and we young. These ain't the old masters coming through with big ass belly talking shit. No, this is young dudes coming through. Young sisters coming through, ready for war, and everybody I roll with is no joke. I don't even have to turn my back. I know when the shit pop off, it's popping off. You see what I'm saying? So and that's what young people in general. Young people are fearless. They ready to get it on. You see what I'm saying? So when you have young brothers involved with anything, it scares the hell out of white people. Because they know young brothers are not afraid to die. They are not. Especially if it's something that they believe in, they'll die. So they know this, so they got to keep us fighting each other. And we manifest that and show we can blow each other's heads off with no remorse. You follow? But imagine when we find out who the real enemy is. Oh, my God. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we're doing slowly but surely. And I don't have to tell you who the real enemy is. You should know. All right? Yes. And I say that to say the real enemy is yourself. Quiet as kept.
You don't really touch on female conscious rappers. So I'm thinking of one going back with Sister Soldier.
Yes. Well, they shut her down. She was too black, too strong.
And most current, I would say, Bahamadia.
Yes.
So, do you know of any other sisters that have come through? They're not.
Rich, you know any sisters who's really doing it like that right now? That ain't trying to just get a few dollars and shit?
It's very rare to find a lot of, or that have hit the main, that have actually come out with some work.
What about jaz-o? Is it jaz-o? You got a daughter?
Well, there's a few people out there, but it's so scarce now because remember, you have to suppress the female energy, the true essence of the female. Now, if you want to shake your ass and have a titty pop out, you get a video tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? But the true essence, the true warrior sisters, they don't want that. Once they took Queen Latifah and took the crown off her head, I ain't seen much since. Sister Soldier was so strong, she scared me. That's how strong this sister was, and she was ready to die. You see what I'm saying? So they had to get rid of that sister.
The one sister I can think of is Lauryn Hill, but I haven't heard word from her in a long time.
Yes.
Her Unplugged album, that's one of the baddest albums I've ever heard.
That is the
It's
baddest
spiritual,
album
it's metaphysically
I've ever heard.
inclined, and they ain't shut that down, but she put that album out there and she just, took off. You know what I mean? Because
and let me say this. Okay, so it's like some mixtape stuff, but remember, she hooked up with who? Who twisted her out? The Mollies. I don't give a shit what nobody said. Who knows what that family is into? What they did to Bob and shit. Cancer in his toe and shit. Really? You see what I'm saying? So I'm only saying that to say, listen, a lot of times, let me just throw this out there. A lot of times when the hit comes and they take out somebody in the family be involved with that shit. The family gets paid off a lot to look the other way while we do what we have to do. All right? So let's not dismiss the fact that she hooked up with the Mollies. That might have been a part of the plan because ain't nobody getting twisted out like that. Yes.
So artists like, I'm talking about female artists like Yo-Yo, are they doing anything, or are they just totally not doing anything?
I'm not sure. I know MC Light is still getting, she does a lot of voiceover work now, and she has decided to like reemerge. So maybe we have to watch the current. If sisters start coming back up to reclaim and redeem it, then that's going to be spiritual. So we got to watch where this is going and so forth. That's what I do. I sit back and I watch. You know what I'm saying? And when I have something that I feel that's valuable for the people, I'll come and say, listen, I don't know about you, but this is what I saw. Let's keep an eye on this. So we got to sit back and we got to watch and find out if the sisters are going to come back and
is there anywhere from Lynn Q with X-Clan?
Lynn Q, she was on it too. I don't know if she's still rocking. Or if they are, they're not getting the airplay that they deserve. Because I'm not hearing no sisters who are standing up there besides Erykah Badu,
Alicia Keys in the video.
Jean Grey, you know, a few, but they don't get a lot of play. You have to know who they are to appreciate their music. You know, so.
But look, you're saying earlier about the conspiracy things, that we were talking about the females. This left eye uppers, there was allegations or rumours going around that Sugar had something to do with that, with her passing. And when I listened to her album Supernova in 2001, it was way ahead.
Did that album ever come out?
Well, I managed to get a copy.
Okay, you got a copy?
I managed to get
That album was highly advanced, and he was at a funeral, and my boy said he was at the funeral, he said he just got an eerie feeling about Suge. May have had something to do with her passing, but she was in Honduras, right? With Sabi and shit, and she ran that boy over.
But that's what she was doing.
She was working down there, and what she was also doing in the industry, she was putting people on to Dr. Sabi. You know what I'm saying? She was taking all of these artists in the industry and putting them on to Dr. Sabi, which can be dangerous in some, you know, extent or another, but she ran that boy over. You know what I mean? So I don't know, you know, Honduras is a highly spiritual place. She ran that boy over, it might have had something to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really sure. 5 minutes. All right, this is what I'm going to do for my 5 minutes. I'm going to take one question, but then I have to bring y'all up to speed, all right? Take that last question.
I spoke earlier about the Hancock film, obviously Will Smith coming from way back in the day to present day. Could you break down it not being the fact that it's a love story, but the fact that it's a tale of two gods over a period of thousands of years, and that the only solution at the end of it is for one god to go that way and the other god to go that way?
Right. It's a story of masculinity and femininity coming down, the same way we forgot who we were. And at the same time, if you remember, he woke up and the first name he heard was John Hancock, and he took on the name. We took on our slave master's name, and we lost our powers. So he starts realizing that he has his powers, but the real story is that he loses his powers as he gets closer to this white woman. And if you watch it, you know what I mean, he loses all of his powers, but the story is get the fuck away from her, and you'll be okay. But the truth is, embody yourself and embrace yourself with all these archetypes. What was the main archetype that was around him? This so-called ego. It's a reminder, but it's really Horus. Embrace yourself, embody yourself with all these tattoos. See, I have Horus all over my chest, but at the same time, if I think that I put the S on my chest, my Horus, yeah, I could do all those particular things. It was a story about the black man. If you look at his jail cell, he had pyramids above his head and all that particular stuff. And that's who he was, here to really save the planet, but not save that white girl. She was his kryptonite. That's what the white woman is to us, our kryptonite. And they let you know right in the movie.
Does Will Snow, was that deliberate? Was he did mention, I think, on your YouTube that there's some effort in there. So I mean, is he fighting on that level of, you know, the birds for Hollywood?
Say that again?
Is Will fighting with the language of the birds, you know, like Hollywood's higher level of speaking and breaking down? Is he fighting on that level? Because I think if he is, it's the deepest film that I've seen come out. You know,
he's down with Scientology, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he says he's not down with Scientology, but I think he is.
And if you look at it, you know, it's like the Denzels. They're oblivious to what they're doing, but I feel like even on that level, it's a sacrifice. You know what I mean? The black man, he takes on a role so well. Like Jamie Foxx when he plays Ray Charles, that's a form of shape-shifting. To be able to take on somebody else's life and do that. You know, you hear about, you know, in voodoo that we could shape-shift and become someone else. You're literally becoming somebody else. And I feel that as I look at it, that's a sacrifice on their part to send me a message. So there might not be in direct allegiance where they're consciously knowing and articulating to the people, look, this is us, but that's what I'm here for. And they're actually serving some role. You know what I mean? I think every black person is doing something, whether it's they're knowing that they're doing it, or whether it's me, myself, now letting you guys know. So I don't think he knows. I don't think a lot of the artists know, because someone would have said something by now. I don't think you can't, when you know something, it's like when I research something new, it's like a mosquito bite. I got to tell it to the people. It itches me. I got to tell the people. There's no way he could know and just stay silent for all these years. It's impossible. The soul cannot stay suppressed like that. So